Okay. Now last week we worked on a rock and roll riff, which was in the key of C, and it sounded like this. Did you work on that? If all you did was imitate give your impersonation of that. Come on. Then that's cool too. Seriously, if all you did was go, that's totally fine. The reason that's cool with me is because you're keeping the musicality in it and the joy. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like, that's totally cool, okay? What we want to do is remember when we actually get better at it because we've used our brain. We start with the heart, then we move to the brain, and we have to learn how to actually play the notes. We have to teach our fingers what to do slowly. So as I showed you, you have a C and a G. And then and if you missed it last week, this is going super fast. This is you can go back. You can scroll back to last week's a half hour into the last week's apartment show number 6. We did this. I'm just kind of reviewing it for those who were here. And then we had, we did the devil horns, right? And we did C and G. That was a boogie woogie lick, and no one played that better than Little Richard. Little Richard was a R&B rock and roll artist. The late 50s, and was one of my favorites. I wasn't around in the late 50s, I'll have you know, but man, he was so good. So you go back and check some of his records out. It's like, great shit. Okay, so kids, what we're going to do this week is we're going to look at, since we were in key of C for that, let's stay in the key of C. It's fairly simple because there are no accidentals. All these black keys are your friends. You're going to need to use them. But for now, we're only going to think about the white keys. And these are, I want you to take your pointer finger. You don't even have to be able to play a scale, okay? And I want you to go find middle C, okay? This is middle C. Give you a second for your parents to help you find that. If you know it, then you know it. If you can play scales, then you can use your fingers properly to do that. If you cannot play scales, I want you to just use your pointer finger. That's your karaoke finger. Your accusatory finger. Okay, you go C, okay? And then up. C. And then up. C. Notice when you push into the note, keep it down, bring the tone out, and then up. When you go up, that's one of the most important parts. You'll notice that if you lift it up quickly, you hear the note stop quickly. Right? Space in between is so super important. So that's just C, right? Okay, now we're going to go C, D, E, F, G. That's all we're going to do. C, D, F, off, G, a little faster, like your finger is a drumstick. It's totally fine to do it that way. Okay? Now we're going to do it with your thumb. Got it? C, D, E, F, G. Everyone here knows their alphabet. That's just C, D, E, F, G. Got it? It's not the point is not to play that fast with your thumb or your finger. It's just to have done it. Now, we're going to count. We're in the key of C. Why? Because I said so. Later on, if you're wondering why is it the key of C, you're a very thoughtful, smart person, very musical, and this will vex you for years and years until you figure out why it's the key of C. C, D, E, F, G. Now, we're going to count instead. We're in the key of C. C is the center of our universe. It's 1. It's home. It's the tonic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, we're going to make your hand like that. Just relax it. Put your thumb on C, which is 1. It's your home. And you'll notice that the other fingers should roughly spread across to C, D, E, F, G, right? Now, the reason that we're doing this right now is because there's two parts to playing music. One is all from the heart and it's fun. And you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can do that. You're totally allowed. But at some point, in order to get more out of it, you're going to want to do this. So bear with me just a second, okay? I don't want to bore you kids to death. But I'm going to show you something that you can play, which is going to be... This is what you're shooting for. And the reason you're shooting for that is because if you have an idea for a song and you want to be able to play the piano while you sing it, then you can just make up something, right? You can make up something for this. Carol Pillow, Matt Scrollers, teaching kiddies to cuss. You can't just make it up. See, now how I'm doing that, kiddies, is I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you build a chord on these 3 fingers, this one, middle finger, and your thumb, that's the opposite. Well, it's not really the opposite. It's hard to explain. There. See, I'm not a piano teacher, but I'm going to get you there. Thumb, middle finger, pinky. You lay those on the piano, and you push it down, you get a chord. The reason that is because you have thirds. Why is a chord built on thirds? For now, because I said so. So there you go. There's your chord. If you can play a C chord, C, E, and G, or 1, 3, and 5. If you want to find them, go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 3, and 5. 1, 3, and 5. Finger 1, 3, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Play those, and you've got to see. If all you do this week is learn how to play that C, then think about all the stuff you can do with that. That's a beautiful chord. You can go, if you can get that coordinated, or you can go. And then all you have to do is move it up 1, and you're playing a chord built on the 2nd scale degree, which is a minor chord. Why? Because I said so. Don't worry about it. But you can just play 3, 4, 5, and they're all correct chords in the key of C. Why? You know why. Because Uncle Ben said so. So what I want you to be able to do is, as you experiment with this, maybe it takes 2 or 3 weeks, just keep going back to this. 1, 3, 5, and move it up. Just let your hand drift up. Later we'll add some left hand. Some rhythms and stuff next week. So that is my lesson for the day. What you have learned in this, or what you have planted the seeds to learn, is a diatonic major scale, which involves a key center, home, the tonic, C. You've learned to build a chord in that key on the home chord there of C, and you have learned modally to move up through the most important chords in that key of C. You can build so many songs on this. You can go. You can go. All those chords to work with. If someone said all you can do is write songs with those chords with one hand, you could do it. Okay? So this is my lesson for the day. If you want to go back and look at the Little Richard riffs, my hands much at all. I'm just moving little incremental things. You get sick of it, you just go like that. Now, I'm not saying you're supposed to go play that, what I just showed you. What I am doing is showing you that all I'm really doing in my head now is that. I'm just smashing keys. I'm getting the same joy as you would get if you just went nuts on the piano like that. So you're allowed to do that. You can do that, but then it'll get old and you'll want to refine it to these things, right? So, key of C, D, E minor, F. That's your lesson. If you start to play scales, play them slowly. There's nothing cool about playing the scales fast. You're going to play them really slowly. There you go. Okay, I got to put the camera back around here. You know, if someone wants to send me a couplet, ooh.